sorry, I didn't want to be on. Aren't going to be here, so.
Yeah,
Let's get this-
let's do it. This is our inaugural
Yes.
launch of Thrive Thursday.
So Stacy actually came up with the name Thrive Thursday. Michelle suggested another name too, called Thirsty Thursday. So
Is that the happy hour version?
You're thirsty, you want more.
yeah.
Like hungry, but
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
So the way this all came about is Jeff and I were talking about getting more, more focus on agent attraction and helping grow everybody's team and our teams as far as the revenue share model goes. And Jeff and I decided, hey, let's get together every week and do an accountability, do some goals, write down some things, and just do it together so we can be better together. And Jeff said, well, why don't we just do it for everybody? Let's invite anyone to come and join us in this meeting. So that's what this has become. So first, I kind of want to share a little bit about what it is and what it isn't. So what it is what I just mentioned: accountability and having some goal setting, and then also handling some objections. So if you guys talk to other people, other agents, and bring up EXP or our team, and they come back and say certain things that you don't know what to say, bring it here on our Thursday classes so we can just talk about it and help you out. So what it isn't is a scheduled training. We're not going to do like, here's the training this week on agent attraction. There's plenty out there already on how to invite. We've done a lot of classes on agent attraction and how to invite. So we're not going to do a training every week. It's like I said, more of an accountability and goal setting and going through that. So the reason we decided to do this is really because of what's changed in the industry just in the last year, really, I think. And we've talked EXP's been talking for 3, 4, 5 years, longer than we've been in EXP, about the cloud brokerage and how they save money and then return it to the agents. And it's kind of interesting as I look back, and I've just kind of been thinking about this the last month. 2 years ago, or even maybe a year and a half ago, certainly 3, 4, 5 years ago, as EXP was talking about the shift to a cloud brokerage, I think everyone was like, well, that's cool, but all brokerages are doing well, right? Because everyone's making money, everyone's selling houses. But what's happened in the last year is brokerages are suffering, right? Actual like independents, large brokerage are suffering, and agents need more business. So what has changed is you have brokerages that are losing money, they're not investing in their agents, and it's really hurting their bottom line. In fact, there is a third-party study that just came out just a couple months ago that you can look up that shows that EXP is one of only a couple profitable companies right now that is actually making money on each transaction. Most are losing a tremendous amount because their production is down and their expenses are way up. So the reason that we're bringing that up is because EXP is actually reinvesting into their agents right now to help us sell more houses. Like that is their focus, is helping us. So Jeff and I were thinking, let's bring more people into the fold because they need us right now. So just to give you an idea of some of the things that you may or may not know about right now, if you haven't been plugged in, we have a tremendous discount for leads with realty.com that agents can plug into. If they're with EXP, it's really about more than half off of what you could get if you're with any other brokerage. We all know about KV Core. We have also a CRM called Chime. You actually get it free with realty.com. And because I started with realty.com, I actually been looking more into Chime as a CRM. And I just ordered it through EXP. It's going to cost me $60 a month for the full website, full CRM, phone number, and everything. And I added it up. If I was not with EXP, it was $510 a month.
For what you have to do.
Yes, for $60 with EXP, or $510 if you're not.
So if you're doing realty.com and they provide that,
Then
how's that different than if you're paying?
you don't have to pay anything if you're with realty.com. but you have a CRM and then autoresponders, and it's free. But I wanted to try out their website and their IDX service, because it actually replaces everything KV Core does. So I just wanted to try it and see what it's like. But it's a huge savings. So I'll report back on how that goes, but it's something that I want to do. But the reason I bring that up too is because if someone is coming over to EXP and they have Chime or a different, they already have it, they can just plug right into it and save $450 a month.
Yeah.
Or they can get KV Core for free. So pretty cool stuff. Another couple things that I wanted to mention too is if you have agents that are kind of suffering and they need to get kind of a boost with their production, EXPCon is a great thing to invite to, because if you're with EXP and you go to EXPCon, you can actually get a free ticket to invite anyone to come for free. So
Any
non-EXP agent can come for free. You get a free ticket. So
what a great opportunity. I know Stacy's taken just this last build event. She paid for a ticket to take a friend of hers there that she was really close with that is now joining our team. And that she was definitely, I'm not going for that reason when she went to the event, but experiencing the culture and spending that time with Stacy and the team. She's like, I want more of that. So they talk about it all the time, big decisions are made at big events. And not having to pay for their event ticket is pretty huge. Here in Utah, anyway, we're pretty close to Las Vegas. We can all drive, we don't even need a flight. So yeah.
So yeah, it is huge. So tap into that. And some of the other things that EXP has rolled out is called the Boost program. If you don't know anything about the Boost, it's for larger brokerages that are doing quite a bit of volume. I think it's 100 million a year. Or something. I think it's 100.
They're kind of like a base guideline is a brokerage with 50 agents doing 100 million a year.
Right.
But that's kind of a guideline. So if they're anywhere even close to that, either volume or agent count, they'll still talk to them.
Yeah, we know some agents that have brokerages that have 15 agents that do over 100 million.
Mm-hmm.
So what EXP is doing is a lot of those brokers are in trouble, and they say, hey, whatever you spent over the last 12 months with your old brokerage in fees and splits, EXP will give that back in assistance if they're transitioning over to EXP. So you think about these brokers that might be suffering, losing money, they don't know what to do. Are we going to close our doors for laying people off? I just talked to someone 2 days ago that worked for Century 21, and Century 21 just laid off half of their staff locally, like half of them gone. So brokerages are in a position where they need some help. So Boost is just something that where other brokerages are cutting back, EXP is actually giving assistance to help them make the transition and lower their expenses. So that's
don't confuse that with other companies that are buying brokerages.
Right.
And they're purchasing them to add them to their agent count. They're basically just giving monetary assistance saying, hey, if they would have been with us, we would have made this much money. So let's invest that back into them. So in the future years that we can help them kind of just get here. And then we're going to be profitable by helping them come over, and they're going to be better.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then another program we've been talking about a lot is Bundle Select that they just released. That is a tremendous opportunity for agents to get really a plethora of leads and really increasing their SOI through businesses instead of just your personal SOI. And one thing that I'm doing with other agents, because there is a cost for that, is if anybody wants to participate with that and work with me, then we can help them get more business with companies they know by just introducing it, and we'll sign them up and get them to be clients. And then that agent that found that business can do all the business that comes through there. So there's a really good opportunity for there. And that's really good for other agents that aren't in EXP. If they know that's out there and they can actually increase their business by plugging into that program that EXP owns and just purchase, like they own Bundle Select. So, it could turn into a lot of transactions every single year. And if other agents and other brokers don't know about it, then we can't help them with this. So it's our job to go share it, right? So share the love.
Yeah.
With EXP.
You brushed over EXP owning that pretty quick, but
Yeah.
that's a big deal.
Yeah,
I mean, EXP originally contacted them to become the exclusive, not preferred, but the exclusive brokerage to be offered through this employee benefit package to help people save money on their transaction costs when they buy and sell for the employees. It doesn't cost the employer anything, doesn't cost the employee anything. But as the more they look at it, they're like, hey, we got our foot in the door to help our agents do all this, but we could make this even better if we were in charge. So they bought it.
yeah.
I mean, how great is that?
So it's really exclusive now.
Really exclusive,
Yeah.
but it just goes to show where this company's heart is and where their intention is, and it's all about us as the agents, or they wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, 100%. So really excited about that. If you don't know all the details on that, please reach out to me and how I can help you with that, because it's something that's going to be a huge focus for myself moving forward. So as far as our goals and our accountability, so the one assignment that I'd like everyone to do this coming week is, first of all, work on your SOI list for agents. So your SOI, sphere of influence, you should already have a list with all your sphere of influence for, prospecting for buyers, sellers, of course, just your friends, your family, past clients, anyone you've known in life should be on your SOI. So we're going to take that SOI that you already have, and if you don't have it, do it this week, is add 2 more pages to that spreadsheet, and it'll be agents that you know, and then also agents that you've done business with before. So if you're newer in the business, you don't have as many, that's just fine. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take your SOI of your personal friends, everyone that you personally know, and help turn those into agents that you don't know yet. So we're going to talk about that next week. So if you're making introductions with EXP right now, in the last week or two, continue to do that. But if you haven't talked to anyone about EXP in a month or 2 or 3 or whatever, then just skip another week. Don't talk to anybody about EXP next week, right? Just let it go. So the one thing that you're going to do is just work on that list. Because next week we'll take the list and we'll talk about what to say and scripts and how to invite, and we'll go from there. So it'll be a little bit of a training next week, but what's cool about it is when you talk to your SOI about EXP, and Stacy and I have talked about this a little bit too, it's the easiest phone conversation you'll ever have with your SOI about real estate. So you'll actually remind them that you're a realtor, and you'll get some business out of it just by sharing your desire to meet other agents to grow your EXP team. So we'll definitely cover that next week, but this week, I just want you to build a list. So just work on your list, don't reach out to anybody, and then we'll go over that next week. So as far as goals go, I also want you to think about how many hours per week do I want to spend on agent attraction? With just talking to other agents or working on that process. And if that is 1 hour a week, that's fine. If it's 5 or 10 hours a week, just write that goal down and bring it back with you next week. But do that goal today. Think about it today and say, hey, if that's 1 hour or 2 hours a week or 5 hours a week, spend that time this week on tightening up your list and your SOI, so we have something to go on next week.
So guys, he's sharing with you what we talked about that we were going to do for each other. So do this. I want this to be collaborative. I want input from you guys. Like Eric said, this isn't really a training. We will have some training, but we want it to be something where we can hold each other accountable. Yeah. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. You're only on this call right now, or hopefully if we got this recording and somebody's watching it on our team that couldn't make it here today, because you want to build an organization. So that's for yourself, but it's also to help other people. Eric started off talking about all these new things that EXP has, because we should be excited. We should be excited to talk to another agent, because a lot of us, even in the company, don't even realize all of the great tools and benefits that they have for us. So the more we learn about this, the more excited we're getting. It's like, we really gotta be sharing this. And so we're gonna share ours, we're gonna set our goals, and then we're gonna share that with you guys. Love you to share it back, and then we can all kind of like as a team, help each other grow.
Yep, yeah. So I'll bring my goals and my list, and then some of the scripts that we're using, and then we'll just be accountable to each other. And the one thing I want to say is, if you want to build a team where you know, attract other agents, and you have a week where you just fall on your face and you're going to do 5 hours and you did 0, please show up anyway. It's okay, you know, if you don't hit your goals, we're all here to help each other and work on, you know, progressing, right?
I'd like to add one other thing in there. Eric talked about, hey, set a goal for how much time you're gonna spend on attraction, meaning I'm gonna be reaching out to agents, right? Whether that's how many conversations or actual just time spent. It's a section of your business that's not gonna just happen on its own. We have to be purposeful about it. So whether it's just 1 call a day.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
for
1 call
some of
a day.
us, that, if we did that on the weekdays, it'd be 5 more calls than we made in a minute,
Yeah.
right? Just admittedly, we all could do better. And if we want to do it, just set those simple goals. But along with that, I would encourage you to also plan another goal to learn about attraction outside of just Team Limitless and Eric. And Stacy, I'm going to throw a compliment to you. You found and shared a podcast you were listening to, and we're getting some value out of it. So I actually went to the podcast and started listening to it. I'm the opposite of you, though. You started at the beginning and want to listen to all of them. I started at the most current, and I'm going to go backwards. So we'll meet somewhere in the middle. But for you guys, this is just one resource of thousands, guys. But it's called Agent Attraction Fast Start. It's just a team. It's a guy that has about 1,300 agents on his EXP organization. He's personally brought on 30 some odd. I think he's talking about 33, 32, somewhere in there. And it's kind of just a conversation on how he's doing it, how he's helping the team do it. Things that Eric was just talking about, scripts, what to say. You know, today, the one I listened to, he says the script is really easy when you're calling people. He said, it's not very long and it's easy to remember. You don't have to write it down. You just call and say, have you looked into EXP? Because that's how you start a conversation. That's step 1. So anyway, there's so many good things on Workplace within EXP world and the trainings that they do in there. Find somebody that has a personality that you just like listening to, and get those nuggets. Because I would like us all to share that each week too, on something that maybe we learned from somebody else outside of our group.
That would be fantastic. Yeah. And guys, this is worth your time. If this is a goal you have and you want to grow it, it's worth every minute and hour that you spend. And also you're helping other agents, because if Jeff wouldn't have told me about EXP, my life and business would have been completely different. So I thank Jeff all the time for thinking of me, and I think about that with other agents. It's like, I need to share this with other people and other agents that I like and I care about. And I started doing something that Lynn does, like with agents that she works with. She'll put a little heart sign next to their name if she loves them, and then, well, some of them get a poop emoji next to their name. So I am tracking who I talk to on a regular basis that are agents that, hey, I want to talk to this person about EXP because I like them.
Yep.
And they do not know about Boost or Bundle Select or, you know, discounts that we're getting and what we have available. They may have some concept of what EXP is, but they do not know the full picture. And it's our job to share it with good agents and people that we really like. And that's what I'm excited about. So
one thing I just want to add to that is one thing I'm concerned about is making sure you guys understand that this can be easy and this can be duplicatable. When Eric and I started, we didn't know jack. You know, we were excited. We knew enough to say this is the place for me. And we all had people, like I had Eric that I called that we wanted to share it with. But you know what? All I had to do was invite Eric to a Zoom call. We'll bring Matt Ashby and maybe Patrick, but we'll bring some of our organization that's with us that you guys should all know on a first name basis, and we'll bring them into what we're doing here and realize that Eric and I are going to be doing overviews. We're going to be doing three-way calls. We're going to learn and grow ourselves, and we want to be a resource to you, but it doesn't end with us. We have contacts and resources throughout EXP that we can utilize and start getting people on a call with to make it really, really easy to invite and let somebody else present.
Yeah, and on that note, we've decided that the first Wednesday of every single month is going to be an EXP overview. So everybody knows, 11 o'clock Mountain Time on Wednesdays, we do a great class from an outside instructor that comes in. But I asked Jeff if we could do this. And it took a couple months because Jeff scheduled out for like 2 months with instructors. But September 6th is going to be our first Wednesday of the month where we're going to do an overview. And it's just going to be EXP and agent attraction for anyone that you want to invite to. And we're going to do that the first Wednesday of every month. So put that on your calendar too. So right now we're a month away from that, really. I mean, 4 weeks from that. So we're pushing towards that to have some conversations so we can make that a really great first meeting and build some momentum off of it. So
here's one thing I would encourage too. Don't just attend if you have somebody that you invited that's showing up. Please, for us, be on that call the first Wednesday of every month, whether you have somebody or not, so that you can hear the same things over and kind of ingrain it in your mind, but also just to support those of you that do have somebody here. You know what, we might have 1, we might have 2, we might have 10 new agents, who knows? But to have more energy from the presentation is going to help all of us. And who knows, Eric and I may call on 1 or 2 of you to just kind of give a brief little comment about what your experience has been at EXP and why you're here. And then that just helps us talk to more personality types by getting more engagement.
Yep. So basically what our assignment this week is to work on our SOI and write down how much time you want to spend on agent attraction, and also just some attraction goals. Do you want to bring in 1 or 2 agents, say in September, something like that? What is your team goal? So those are the 3 things for next week. Also, I would love for you to watch 2 videos if possible. So Frederick has a great napkin presentation that was just recorded about 5 months ago on YouTube, and it's fantastic. So watch that if at all possible. And it's actually kind of a training on how to do the napkin presentation.
Yeah,
kind of cool.
So I think you can search Frederick napkin presentation. You're going to find one that's 5 years old, right?
Yeah.
Put the word new in there. He specifically redid it in a format, like Eric just said, to show you how to do it. Instead of just doing the napkin presentation, it's like, I do it this way for a reason. And so there's more commentary in there.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But you really, and it's updated based on what's going on in the market today. So watch it, because if you don't really understand why EXP is so different and so relevant right now with this industry change, watch that. And then the other video that you can watch is the EXP State of the Union. Do you remember the URL on that? Stacy, do you remember the URL on that? I can look it up real quick, but it's a 30-minute call with Glenn Sanford, our CEO, and he talks about what's happening in the market and what EXP is doing. So let me see if I can find it. Actually, if you just type in EXP State of the Union on Google, you'll get it.
Yeah, pop right up.
Yeah, it's on Brent Gove's channel too. But yeah, it's really excellent. It has Brent Gove and Glenn Sanford and Steve Tsai, Canadian president. Take you about an hour to watch both of those videos, but yeah, definitely watch those before next week and you'll have a great understanding.
But it's good content, right? We're talking about attraction. We're talking about really creating a whole nother income stream for ourselves and for other people. We should be spending some time learning more about it, right? It's no different than us going to trainings like we did today to learn how to sell real estate and be good at that. We need to also study this craft as another business that we're in. We're in the attraction business, we're in the transaction business. You decide the ratio of how much time you spend on either one, but we all need to spend the time putting the content in here so that we have it to draw upon when the conversations present itself. And then for some of us, need to kind of hold back on trying to share too much and be systematic about it. That's what I'm excited to relearn, is being very systematic about how this business is run and what makes those that are successful, why they're successful.
Yeah, it's absolutely worth it, you know, to build, even if it takes 2 or 3, 4 years. I mean, it's worth that build. And Jean talks about that in the napkin presentation. And it's really powerful, what EXP can provide in some passive income.
If you guys haven't seen those napkin presentations, you're gonna love it,
Yeah.
because everybody here on this call, we're concerned or we're conscious about our retirement, about our security and our options that we're gonna have as we get older, for our families and all that kind of stuff. So it's a great comparison. Is like, what are the alternatives out there? What else besides this in my core business of real estate and helping other agents be successful that can create a retirement? What else could I be doing that's outside of my realm of expertise and stuff like that? Much harder.
Yes.
Much harder to do it that way. And so you'll connect in your head, well, what other alternative do I have? And would it be this much fun and this much successful? It's really a blueprint. It's almost guaranteed, guys. Like when I was building my real estate portfolio, even in my early 20s, I knew my plan had a guaranteed outcome. At some point, the trajectory could go nowhere else with owning real estate. It's the same thing with this. If you're talking to enough agents, you can predict what the results. It might, like Eric said, it might be 2 years, it might be 5 years. But when you compare it to the alternatives, you're like, hell yeah, I'm doing this.
Perfect. Well, that's it, guys. Let's get together next week and yeah, goals, SOI, and if you can definitely watch that napkin presentation. And we'll get together next week and go over some cool scripts and what we're going to do with that list.
Yeah, I love it. That's Eric.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, you guys have anything you want to add or questions or comments about this or anything else while we're together?
Well, I just have a question because I'm in a construction site right now and I couldn't hear the first video that you suggested.
Oh, no, that's fine. So there's both of them are on YouTube. So you can go EXP State of the Union.
Yeah.
And then also Jean Frederick's new napkin presentation.
Oh, okay.
And I can text him to you as well if you can't.
That text me, yeah. It's
I'll
like
do
I
that.
forgot my earbuds today and I'm struggling.
Guys,
I'll send it to you.
watch Gene's stuff. Gene is a unique individual. He's in your EXP organization above you. And Eric and I were just on a Zoom call with him last week. It was last week.
Yeah.
He even gave me a call afterwards and gave me some feedback about it. He's the one that was literally when he came to EXP is when the growth started. Then he brought in Rob Flick, who is also in your organization.
Also in Keller Williams previously to this, wasn't he? I think.
Yeah. So
Right
I'm
up there in Keller Williams,
event too, because then you get to meet him in person. And we can call on him. He's willing to help us grow. And so we're gonna encourage you to take advantage of resources like that. So anyway, Gene's an awesome individual. Watch that napkin presentation.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay, we'll see you next week, everybody. Thanks for jumping on and call us anytime with any help you need.
Thank you.
All right, see you
guys.
Bottom of my heart, bottom of my heart, thank you.
Sounds fun. Sounds like a lot.